Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jam Vishnu Prabhupada Hamsa Parivajacharya Ashtotra Shadashi Shamad Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotee. All glories to the assembled devotee. All glories to the assembled devotee. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, entitled Creation of the Fourth Order, Chapter 23. Maharaj Prithu is going back home. We're on text 11. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tasya naya bhagavata parikarma shuddha. What is it? Be a little loud. Sattvatmanastad anusma smaranananupurtya. Jnanam virakti marabun nishatena yena. Chicheda Sanshaya Padam Nija Jiva Kosham. Tasyana Ya Bhagavata Parikarma Shuddha. Sattva Manastad Anusam Smarananupurtya. Jnanam Virakti virakti mad abhunishatena yena. Chi cheda samshaya padam nija jiva kosham. Tasyanaya bhagavata parikarma shuddha. Satvatmanastad anusamsmarananupurtya. Jnanam virakti madabhunishatena yena. Chitcheda samshaya padam nija jiva kosham. Tasya, his. Anaya, by this. Bhagavataha, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Parikarma, activities in devotional service. Shuddha, pure, transcendental. Sattva, existence. Atmanaha, of the mind. Tat, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Anusamsmarana, constantly remembering. Anupurtya, being perfectly done. Jnanam, knowledge. Virakti, non-attachment. Mat, possessing. Abhut, became manifested. Nishtena, by sharpened activities. Yena, by which. Chitcheda, becomes separated. Samshaya padam, position of doubtfulness. Nija, own. Jiva kosham, encagement of the living entity. Translation. By regularly discharging devotional service, Prithu Maharaj became transcendental in mind and could therefore constantly think of the lotus feet of the Lord. Because of this, he became completely detached and attained perfect knowledge by which he could transcend all doubt. Thus he was freed from the clutches of false ego and the material conception of life. Purport. In the Narada Pancharatra, devotional service to the Lord is likened unto a queen. When a queen gives an audience, many maidservants follow her. The maidservants of devotional service are material opulence, liberation, and mystic powers. The karmis are very much attached to material enjoyment. The jnanis are very anxious to become freed from material clutches. And the yogis are very fond of attaining the 8 kinds of mystic perfection. From the Narada Pancharatra, we understand that if one attains the stage of pure devotional service, he also attains all the opulences derived from fruitive activities, empiric philosophical speculation, and mystic yoga practice. Srila Bilvamangala Thakur therefore prayed in his Krishna Karnamrita, "My dear Lord, if I have unflinching devotion to you, you become manifest before me personally, and the results of fruitive activity and empiric philosophical speculation, namely religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation, become like personal attendants and remain standing before me as if awaiting my order." The idea here is that the jnanis, by culture of Brahma Vidya, spiritual knowledge, struggle very hard to get out of the clutches of material nature, but a devotee, by dint of his advancement in devotional service, automatically becomes detached from this material body, from his material body. When the devotee's spiritual body begins to manifest, he actually enters into his activities in transcendental life. At present, we have contacted a material body, material mind, and material intelligence. But when we become free from these material conditions, our spiritual body, spiritual mind, and spiritual intelligence become manifest. In that transcendental state, a devotee attains all the benefits of karma, jnana, and yoga. Although he never engages in fruitive activities or empiric speculation to attain mystic powers, automatically mystic powers appear in his service. A devotee does not want any kind of material opulence, but such opulence appears before him automatically. He doesn't have to endeavor for it. Because of his devotional service, he automatically becomes Brahmabhuta. As stated before, this is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, text 26. Mam chayo vibhacharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatitaitan brahmabhuya kalpate. When one is engaged in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends. One who is engaged in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. Because of his regular discharge of devotional service, a devotee attains the transcendental stage of life. Since his mind is transcendentally situated, he cannot think of anything but the lotus feet of the Lord. This is the meaning of the word sangsmarana anuportya. By constantly thinking of the lotus feet of the Lord, the devotee immediately becomes situated in Shuddha Sattva. Shuddha Sattva refers to that platform which is above the modes of material nature, including the mode of goodness. In the material world, the mode of goodness is considered to be representative of the highest perfection. But one has to transcend this mode and come to the stage of Shuddha Sattva, or pure goodness, where the 3 qualities of material nature cannot act. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives the following example. If one has strong digestive power, after eating he automatically lights a fire within his stomach to digest everything and does not need to take medicine to aid his digestion. Similarly, the fire of devotional service is so strong that a devotee does not need to act separately to attain perfect knowledge or detachment from material attractions. A jnani may become detached from material attractions by prolonged discussions on subjects of knowledge, and may in this way finally come to the Brahmabhuta stage. But a devotee does not have to undergo so much trouble. By virtue of his devotional service, he attains the Brahmabhuta stage without a doubt. The yogis and jnanis are always doubtful about their constitutional position, therefore they mistakenly think of becoming one with the Supreme. However, a devotee's relationship with the Supreme becomes manifest beyond all doubt, and he immediately understands that his position is that of the eternal servant of the Lord. Jnanis and yogis without devotion may think themselves liberated, but actually their intelligence is not as pure as that of a devotee. In other words, the jnanis and yogis cannot become factually liberated unless they become elevated to the position of devotees. Aruya krichena param padam tata padantyado nadrita yushmat angrayaha. Bhagavatam 10:232. The jnanis and yogis may rise to the highest position, Brahman realization, but because of their lack of devotion to the lotus feet of the Lord, they again fall down into material nature. Therefore, jnana and yoga should not be accepted as the real processes for liberation. By discharging devotional service, Maharaj Prithu automatically transcended all these positions. Since Maharaj Prithu was a Shakti-avesh incarnation of the Supreme Lord, he did not have to act in any way to attain liberation. He came from the Vaikuntha world or spiritual sky in order to execute the will of the Supreme Lord on earth. Consequently, he was to return home, back to Godhead, without having to execute jnana, yoga, or karma. Although Prithu Maharaj was eternally a pure devotee of the Lord, he nonetheless adopted the process of devotional service in order to teach the people in general the proper process for executing the duties of life and ultimately returning home back to Godhead. Gaura Hari Jai Om Nama Om Jnana Timidandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshulan Maditamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Bukam Karitivachalam Pangam Langai Tegidim Yak Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurun Ditadanam Vansha Kapatribishcha Kripa Sandhubevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Shri Dvaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Do you think you could please bring that Ochman cup? Right there. Thank you. So in material existence, the living entity, the soul in material existence, thanks. The soul in material existence, who has accepted a material body and mind and intelligence, is always being cheated. That is the one of the principles of being a conditioned soul in the material world, is that being a conditioned soul in the material world automatically means that they're being cheated, right? Like those 4 defects of conditioned soul: tendency to commit mistakes, tendency to be cheated, tendency to be illusioned. What's the last one? Imperfect senses. So, in the whole, you could say one of the main purposes of the Bhagavatam is to help the soul come to the platform of liberation, becoming a liberated soul, which one of the, you could say, very important aspect of being a liberated soul is they're no longer cheated. And the supreme. And in the supreme way people are cheated is that they are tempted, and they're not only are they tempted, but they accept the temptation, or they don't overcome the temptation of you could say Maya's temptations. And largely Maya's temptations are what Srila Prabhupada would comment on frequently. He said, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. If we really analyze what's going on in the material world, there's just a bunch of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending going on. Up in the animal species, the human species, it's a lot of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So, on one particular occasion, Prabhupada, he was explaining to my spiritual master, he was explaining, because 1976, 1977, Prabhupada's health started failing, his body. So Prabhupada, he, first of all, from the beginning, as we know Srila Prabhupada, one of the things he's known for is conquering his sleep. He would sleep very little at night and still be very energetic throughout his life. But so that wasn't, and then defending, I mean, he didn't have much need to defend. And mating, I mean, wasn't doing that. So, but specifically when his health started failing more and more, he commented that I was praying to Krishna to free me from these things, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. And now practically all these things have become nil. Right? Eating, I'm not eating much, I'm not sleeping much, no mating, no defending. So I must be liberated. That's what he told him. I must be liberated. So now of course we don't need to try to imitate that, and generally people don't do that. But it is important at least to understand that these things are pulling the living entity down, actually. One's trying to, rise in Krishna consciousness, and these things are pulling one down. So therefore, they are, you could say, things that, we may have to do, but we should not let them control us. And part of us not letting them control us means that we're heading closer towards liberation, in the sense that we're not being cheated. In other words, we're not being cheated to spend our whole life just focusing on eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, just like the animals do. So the Bhagavatam is trying to elevate us to the spiritual platform in which, yes, we may eat, we may sleep, we may defend, but they are, there's Krishna conscious ways of doing that. And you could say because Maya is very close servant of Krishna, in some ways the material energy actually operates in some ways like Krishna, in the sense that we hear Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, right? He says, Sarva dhammam prityaja mamekam sharanam vaja aham tvam sarvapapibhyo moksha samamasucha, that just surrender unto me, I shall protect you, free from all sinful reactions. It's a promise. And Krishna, he really wants a lot, actually. He wants everything. So if we analyze it, Maya in many ways works like that as well. Maya's agents, they say, oh, surrender to me, I'll protect you, I promise, you'll be happy, you'll be satisfied. They have a saying, if you give someone an inch, they take a mile. So in other words, if you let somebody, just like, for example, you tell somebody, yeah, you could come here on Sunday night, or you could come here on Sunday afternoon, and you could have lunch with the devotees. And they go, okay, great. So then they, so they come for breakfast, and then they come for lunch, and then the next day, then they say, okay, I'll start doing this on Saturday, and they come on Saturday, Sunday, and before you know it, they got their tent out in the front yard, and got their cooker out there, and So you give them an inch and they take a mile. In other words, they want to take advantage. So with the illusory energy, the idea is that we don't want to give the illusory energy an inch. Why? Because it operates like that as well. You give a little bit, a little space, and then it take more. Give Maya an inch, she takes a mile. And that's how addiction works. Addiction works that by one subjecting themselves to a particular type of enjoyment, whether it be sleep, eating certain foods, sleeping, mating, defending, we subject ourselves, or whatever the addictions may be, we subject ourselves to a particular type of enjoyment, even a little bit, and then that attachment grows. That's the nature of attachment. It grows, unless it's cut off. So the idea is that we want to be careful when dealing with the material energy not to give too much room for it to take over our lives, to hijack our consciousness. And even just a little, even just giving it a little bit of room could cause havoc. That's the danger. But the problem is, sometimes we think, it won't cause. I could do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that, right? A little Krishna, a little Maya, whatever, and it won't really affect me, But the problem is, again, it does, and it could grow. And that's the part of the illusory energy that it makes us feel that, or Maya, you could say Maya's agents, they make us feel that they actually care about us and they actually are into our welfare. The Bhagavatam, for example, says, what is knowledge? Knowledge is reality distinguished from illusion for the benefit of all. That's what the Bhagavatam is. For the benefit of all. Now, just like, for example, sometimes you walk through, if you have the misfortune, sometimes you walk through a mall, right? Shopping mall. Bunch of stores everywhere. And there's the people, they sell stuff. They have their, what is it? Kiosk, yeah. So, one time before I joined the temple years ago, I was walking through the mall with a friend, and there's people, they're selling these, it's a pad made out of, I don't know what it's made out of, but some type of material. And it's nice because what you do is you put it in the microwave and you heat it, and then you put it on your shoulders, right, your neck and your shoulders, and you sit there. And yeah, it has rice or something. And you heat it up, and so I was walking through the mall, and this woman was there, and man, they were selling stuff, and the woman, she, stopped me, and she wasn't like, by any means flirting or anything like that, or wasn't being completely, inappropriate, but, she was a saleswoman, so from God knows where, from South America or Europe or for some reason they tend to do that a lot, but work at the kiosk. So she said, "Oh yeah, stop," and she stopped us, and she heated it up in the microwave, put it on my shoulder, and nice, right? Nice, really good. So and then over time I said, "Yeah, it is pretty nice actually. It is nice. I kind of like it, warmth, and yeah, I need this, She said, "Okay, yeah, sure, okay, now fork over some," and I bought it. I don't know, I use a card or money or something. And you could say, okay, does this person really care for me? Are they just trying to, pay their rent? And maybe there's some care there, but yeah, my neck looked really. But the point was that there was some motive there. Like, in other words, would she be there at the kiosk for 9 hours, trying to give away these pads if she wasn't making any money. I don't think so, right? I remember one time this guy, he came, so this, there's this guy, he came to the kitchen here at the temple, and he said, yeah, we got to do a checkup, this and that, went in, and, he really made me feel that, he really cared about us and the kitchen, and, really wanted to help, right? And he I don't know why, but he gave this impression that, this is just a checkup, and, it's not gonna cost much or anything, and he did this whole thing, and then, here. And then he sent the bill. It was expensive. And Dianeti got the bill, and he said, don't let these guys just come in and, say, oh, we want to help. Say, okay, you want to do something at the temple, that's fine. Call our treasurer, because I'm not paying you. Because, they want something. That's what I'm getting at. Or I was in India recently, and there's last example in relation to this, but there's this guy, and I had to get some money exchanged in Mumbai. And the guy seemed like a, normal, well-dressed guy, and he seemed a little funny, but so I was trying to find the money exchange place, and then this guy, it's American, the guy, oh, hello, how are you? And so, oh, I'm good, I'm looking for this money. Oh, yeah, I'll show it to you. So then we just started walking. We walked a long ways, and then we walked past this. Why can't I just go here? This money exchange. He said, "Oh, I know a better one. It's down the road here, and it's a better one." And I started getting a little. What's up with this guy? What is he going to do? Take me in the alley and hit me over the head, and take my wallet or something? And so I just started. I said, "Okay, fine." I kept on walking with him. Felt funny about it, and eventually we got to this money exchange place. So I exchanged my money, then I came out and I walked back to the Juhu temple. And sure enough, the guy said, hey man, put out his hand and, can I have some money? No, Indian guy. Can I have some money? And I said, no, I'm not giving you any money. He said, no, but I need some. I said, no, sorry. And I just kept on walking, and he walked off. Really strange guy, actually. Yeah, he took to his friends, who was a money exchange. I don't know. Strange. So the point is that there's some underlying motive behind all these people. They're just not like, out of the goodness of their heart, they're trying to, right? There's some motive there. So it's not that the illusory energy or agents of the illusory energy do not have a motive. They do have a motive. And even if they they may try to convince us, like all these people trying to convince us, we're trying to help you, we're trying to, increase the happiness of your life, this and that. It's just a motive, whatever it may be. They're trying to cheat you, and they know it. They're trying to cheat you, and they don't know it. They're fools, means that they don't know you're trying to cheat you. Whatever the case may be. So the idea is that instead of having our faith in Maya and the illusory energy that, bring us happiness, satisfaction, and kijai, right? The agents of Maya, we should have our faith in Krishna, that Krishna will do that, and the devotees. And as it's being mentioned here in the verse, in purport, that Bilamangala Thakur, he's saying that all of these, we could say personification of these things, they stand and wait as maidservants for me. Mystic power, opulence, material opulence, what else? Liberation, yeah. Personal, economic development, sense gratification, liberation. So all of these. So in other words, if one becomes a pure devotee, then all of these are provided, because the devotee they don't want anything. So you could say, well, why does Krishna give it to him? Well, just because it means they don't want anything for their own sense gratification, their own selfish sense gratification. Just like Prabhupada, he didn't want any money for himself, but he wanted money to spread Krishna consciousness. It's true. He did want it to spread Krishna consciousness. Just like, he was, in his early letters in 65, 66, Prabhupada was quite bold, actually. He would just really, really ask a lot from people, his disciples and just people in general. Like, he would tell Sumati Maharaji, yeah, send money and you could build a temple and you'll be known as a pious Hindu lady, and please help. From New York he's writing. And he was writing Sally Agarwal in Butler, Pennsylvania when he was in New York. Please, you come here and I'll teach you how to cook all types of Indian vegetarian dishes. Open up a restaurant. We'll work together. It'll be very profitable for you. He was telling her that. I mean, imagine if she, too bad she didn't do that, but whatever. Salvation Army, Srila Prabhupada wrote the Salvation Army. He said, all I need is $250,000. Like that. So he was quite, generously asking. Yeah, chasing their Anasurs, which you never know. That's the thing. You never know unless you ask. Like devotees who distribute the Bhagavatam. I mean, it's quite a thing. Even you say, well, they're distributing to Indians. Okay, well, it's their culture. Maybe they'll accept it, but still, it's it's like a lot of books, and it's $250 or whatever it is. But they ask, and people say, okay, yeah, sure. But it's not that Prabhupada or any devotee, they want these things for themselves, but these things Krishna will arrange these things for their service. That's the thing, for their service. So that's an important thing for us to note, that Krishna will give us whatever we need for our service. But the trick is to see things as, to not see things separated from Krishna. Just like, okay, money comes. The trick is to not see that as separate from Krishna. Like, okay, this is money and I'll use it for Krishna. Like, not that, okay, this is money and yeah, this is what I wanted for myself. So we see it in relation to Krishna. And whatever it is, fortune, money, or followers, or whatever it may be, we see it as in relation to Krishna. So this is the glory of the devotee, Bilvamangal Thakur and so many other great devotees, that they're able to see things in relation to Krishna. And how are they able to do that? Because they're relishing the ecstasy of Krishna consciousness. That's how they're able to see like that. Those who can't relish the ecstasy for whatever reason, they can't see things in relation to Krishna, and therefore they fall down. Right? Like all these gurus and different personalities in India and throughout the world. Why do they have so much trouble? Because maybe they were seeing stuff properly, things properly in relation to Krishna, but at one particular point they started seeing things separate. Oh, this is, for my enjoyment, for my aggrandizement, like that. So one is to reach that stage of ecstasy, which is the Bhagavatam is trying to bring us to, which first we need to theoretically know. But theoretically knowing is not good enough. Gyan. You have to have vigyan. And why is that? Because by theoretically knowledge alone, we'll be on this platform of, they have a saying, you can't live with them and you can't live without them. You can't live with it, you can't live without it. So in other words, like sometimes bitter men who were married once and got divorced or whatever they say, oh, you can't live with them, talking about a woman, you can't live with them because it's just so difficult and painful. But you can't live without them. It means I'm so attracted, I have to, Or whatever it is, so on the theoretical platform of theoretical knowledge, it's like you can't live with illusion, it's just so painful, but you can't live without it because you're so attracted, right? Just like people, sugar, milk, it causes them to get sick, right? Some cases people have that problem, or it gives them ulcers or something or whatever. But oh man, it's just, that ice cream's just too good, right? Or that whatever is just too good, I have to have it, I don't care how it affects my body, right? So you can't live with it. It's so painful. You can't live without it. It's too attractive. So therefore, the Bhagavatam, it's encouraging us, glorify Krishna, engage in devotional service, mamchayo vibhacharana, and then we will get onto the platform of realized knowledge in which we can live without illusion. Not that we can't live with it, can't live without it. Okay, we can't live with it, sure. But we can live without it. So that's the glory of the devotees. And the jnanis and yogis and personalists and all these other persons are trying to be liberated, as Prabhupada quotes this verse, Aruya Kritchena Param Padam Tata. So on so many different processes they may rise very high, but because they have not relished the nectar of Krishna consciousness, then what happens? What's the word? Padantya do? Yeah, they fall down. So yeah, over and over again we're hearing that the way to be successful is by engaging in devotional service. Mabchayo vibhacharane bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatite tan brahma bhuyo kalpate. That's how we reach the transcendental position. All right, does anybody have any questions or comments? Check mic 1 2.
Just one little observation on the 4 defects.
Mm-hmm.
I looked them up. There's a verse. It's I think Bengali verse. And Brahma. What is the second one? Pramada. And then Vipralipsa Karanapatava. Brahma's making mistakes, and Pramada is illusion, and Vipralipsa is cheating, and Karanapatava is the imperfect senses. So I don't know if it's just me, but the way I always remember them in a certain order,
Mm-hmm.
and that last one comes first, because it's the imperfection of the senses
Mm-hmm.
is why you make mistakes, right? The little child sees the sun, he thinks it's the size of a quarter, whatever. And when you keep making those mistakes, that kind of coalesces into an illusion.
Mm-hmm.
And the classic is the fact that we're this body, right? We all have imperfect senses, and we take it for granted we're the body, and everyone's doing it, and therefore that's become a very deep-seated illusion.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you propagate that illusion, that's called cheating.
Mm-hmm.
So I always remember it that way. It seems to be more natural to remember it that way.
So it's
Imperfect senses.
perfect senses, and then you become illusion.
No, you make a mistake.
No, sorry.
And when you keep making that
senses,
mistake, it turns into...
and you make mistakes because of those imperfect senses.
Yeah, and then you're an illusion.
And then you're an illusion, and then you propagate that illusion.
Then
That's cheating. Yeah, that's a nice way.
It seems to
Now, what about the birth, death, old age, and disease? I wonder why.
That's because that's the order Krishna says it.
Oh,
Janma
really?
mrityu
Oh, I
jara
see.
vyadi.
That's how Krishna says.
Yeah.
Okay, Janma mrityu.
When we were doing the
jara vyadi.
BTG,
Yeah.
we'd sometimes change it to birth, old age, disease, and death, which is kind of
Yeah.
how you experience it mostly.
I guess that's how Krishna said it, so you have to...
You can... That's in the CC. That's the Benga. Yeah, I can give you the reference.
Yeah, Prabhupada gives a nice explanation of the 4 defects in the Shiyush Upanishad, right? Was it introduction?
Right at the beginning, the intro.
Yeah, introduction, yeah.
Oh, that brings up another point. One to watch for when you read Prabhupada's books. Prabhupada would sometimes use the word purpose to mean purport. Now, it doesn't work in American English, but if you go into the Oxford Dictionary, you'll find that, there's a meaning of purpose that means more or less purport or import, like that. And that can sometimes be confusing. Right at the beginning of that introduction, he talks about the purpose of the Vedas. Okay, well, the Vedas have a purpose, and give you Krishna. But that's not what he means, because the very next sentence he talks about the import, he talks about the meaning, and it's obvious that he means that there. So you have to watch for that. We fixed a bunch of those in the CC as well. These interchangeable words, that sometimes devotees get confused. Flavor and fragrance, curds, yogurt, and there's a couple others too. It's
Do you think you could tell us that shloka that's mentioned here of Vishnu?
yeah, sure. I was about mukti waiting in the doorway. That's near the end of the Krishna Karnamrita. Bhaktis tvayi stiratara bhagavan yadi syad daive nanak polati divya kishora murti mukti swayam mukulitanjali sevate sman dharmartha kama gatayak samayak patiksha. So, my dear Lord, if someone is fixed in devotion to you, bhakti stri stiratada, O Bhagavan, then that brings about the fruit of that, which is not liberation, but a vision of your beautiful adolescent form. Bhakti Bhagavan said, Daivena nak, for us, divya kishoramurti, your divine kishoramurti. And as far as mukti is concerned, mukti swayam mukulitanjali, she's waiting at the door with the anjali. With the mudra, like Pushpanjali, to serve you. And if whatever I need for Dharma, Artha, and Kama, they're also waiting there. They don't have to worry about it. Mm-hmm. Very important verse.
And Prabhupada, that was one of Prabhupada's, I think, most quoted verses of Bilmangala Thakur. He would quote that verse often. Yeah. He would quote that a lot in his talks. And so also this example, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says here that just as when you eat something, the digestive power, that lights a fire, the stomach digests everything. The nutrients are, assimilated throughout the body. And you don't need to take a digestive medicine to aid digestion. So he says, some of the fire of devotional service is strong. A devotee doesn't have to do anything separate to attain perfect knowledge or detachment from material attractions. So it's not like, okay, well, we chant Hare Krishna, but then we have to go, engage in this or that for detachment or for knowledge or anything. It comes automatically. It comes with the package. So the fire takes care of everything. So similarly, engaged in devotional service takes care of everything. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojataha. Is it Janiyat Ashuvairagyam Jnanam Cha Ahoitik? So by engaging in devotional service, knowledge and detachment automatically comes. Vasudevi Bhagavati. And also, in having this faith, that's the definition of faith, right? Shraddha, what is it? Vishvash Kohe, Shuddhadoya Nishchoy, Krishna Bhakti, Koilo Krita, Koile, Karma Krita Hoy, yeah. So having faith that, maybe you could give the translation. It's a little smoother. Uh-oh. How do you get past
it? This is explained, I think, in the teachings to Sanatan. This is the definition of Shraddha, but in that ladder from faith to love, from faith, from Shraddha to Prema, it's the Nishtha. It's not the original Shraddha. That Shraddha, Prabhupada says, is interest or faith or respect. So you bring you into the association and sort of a little curious. Then everything starts from there. But when you're anartha-nivritti, is it just like nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu, when a lot of the impurities are already removed, then naishtiki, nishta, then your bhakti becomes. So that's this stage. So Shraddha Shabde. This Shabde is kind of an idiom in Bengal, means is defined as, right? It's heard that this is what it means. Vishwas Kohe, determination. Sudidha Nishchoy, very firm conviction that Krishna Bhakti Koile Sarva Karma Kritahoy, that just by performing the routine activities of bhakti, all of my aspirations will be fulfilled. It's not that, I'm doing my bhakti now, and now I have to do something else. You have to have a way of which even the work that you do to keep body and soul together is also within the realm of bhakti. You understand, I'm just doing this to maintain my body so that I can do some service. Otherwise, if you just as a break, it's no longer a pratiyata. Not without break.
Quite interesting, fascinating these letters for the Prabhupada, reading Prabhupada's letters to people. He wrote a few to Sally Agrawal, and I was just, last night I was reading them and I was surprised. Prabhupada was referring to her as his daughter. So you're my daughter, and this and that. Quite affectionate, Prabhupada was. Srimad Bhagavatam ki